Hello friends, today we are starting with the practical questions from the process costing. There are some illustrations in your institute module, some examples and some unsolved questions at the end. We'll be doing most of these in the class. I'm starting with an illustration there. The first illustration is a very simple illustration and it does not carry any losses and gains. That is what makes it even more simpler and probably not eligible for the examination, because in exam such an easy question does not come. The only point there, you are given indirect expenses amounting to 85,000, which is given combined, but question tells you how to apportion it to process by process. May be apportioned on the basis of wages. In the ratio of labor cost will be putting in each process. So first working note comes for this only. Working note 1, apportionment of indirect expenses on the basis of wages. What we are going to do, 85,000 to be put in 80,000 ratio 2 lakh, it's 2 lakh ratio 60,000, 8 ratio 20 ratio 6, which becomes 4 ratio 10 ratio 3. This is the lowest form I can put in. So I can say in process 1, indirect expenses will be 85,000 into 4 by 17. In process 2, 85,000 into 10 by 17, and in process 3, 85,000 into 3 by 17. So this becomes 20,000, 50,000, 15,000. Once I get this, the 3 process accounts are very easy. I'll make in the format that I have taught you. I'll not use the format of your institute module. They are making a column for cost per unit. I can avoid it. I'll put units and amount. Although units remain same in all the 3 processes, you are starting with 240 units, remain same in second process, remain same in third process. So making process 1 account there. Process 1 account. Particulars, units, rupees. Particulars, units, rupees. This is debit side, this is credit side. First is materials. The first process does not receive anything from previous process. It directly starts with the material. The material is 240 units, costing 1,50,000. Labor, nil units, 80,000 cost. Other expenses. Does other expenses include indirect expenses? Answer is no. Indirect expenses is a separate apportioned cost, will come separately. This is 26,000. 2. Indirect expenses apportioned. Refer WN1. We computed 20,000 in first process. No gains, no losses in this question. 240 is total units. Add them all, the total cost 2,76,000. Now all of this will go to second process by process 2 account. 240, 2,76,000. I can write their valued cost per unit 2,76,000 divided by 240, which is 1150. This you must show, because purpose of making process account is to calculate valued cost per. Show in a working note or show in the bracket in the process account. Compulsory to show this valued cost per unit. In next questions it will be used also for valuation of abnormal loss, abnormal gain. Many other things will be there. Units transfer to next process. But here it is quite easy. I reach process 2. Same format. The headers I don't write, you must write them in exam. To process 1. This they will not remind you. You must remember this on your own. This comes here. This comes here. Automatic will always happen. You don't have to make these drawings. These are for your understanding only. Two materials. Do they add more quantity? No. Do they incur more cost? Yes, 50,000. To labor, 2 lakh. To other expenses, 72,000. To indirect expenses apportioned, working note 1, we computed for second process how much? 50,000. I add them all, 240 units and rupees 6,48,000. By process 3, 240 units, 6,48,000. Valued cost per unit 6,48,000 divided by 240. I'm getting is 2,700. Make it sure you write it in the exam either in working note or in the process account. Valued cost per unit, it has to increase only because more cost is being incurred. It has to be more than what you got in process 1. 1150 gets increased to 2,700. Process 3 account. Now first question of any chapter is always easy. This is in the same category. You must write the headers, debit, credit. I am not writing. To process 2 account, 240 units, 6,48,000 rupees. 2 materials, nil units, no fresh units introduced, 20,000 cost. Labor, 60,000. Other expenses, 25,000. Indirect expenses apportioned as per working note 1, they were 15,000. Now 240 units cost me total of 7,68,000. Now where does it go? If it was sold, I will write by cost of sale. When nothing is given, it will go to the finished goods stock. Whenever it is sold, it will be taken to cost of sale. by finished goods stock account. 240 units, 7,68,000. Last thing remaining, compute valued cost per unit. It is 3,200 that you will get. $7,68,000 for 240 units. It reaches 3,200 per unit. This is complete illustration number 1. Next we reach some small examples. There are 4 examples. They are explaining the treatment of losses and gains. They are again small questions which can be there in exam for 3 marks, 4 marks. Very short concept based questions. So example 1 is what I am concentrating upon from your institute module. Example 1 explains a normal loss without having a scrap value. Remember what to do with normal loss. Take to the credit side of process account, and against that we are going to put scrap value if any, otherwise 0. And in computing valued cost, the scrap value is reduced from total cost, and in denominator we get expected loss, expected production units, which is after deducting expected normal loss units. This much concept is applicable in example number 1. So I am making the proper format in this. 3-column format that I have taught you earlier. Particulars, units, rupees. Particulars, units, rupees. Process 1 account, debit, credit. A product passes through process 1 and process 2. Material issued to process amounted to 40,000, wages 30,000, manufacturing overhead 27,000. Normal loss was 5% of input. 4750 units were produced and there was input of 5,000 units. Scrap has no realizable value. So we want to now compute everything in this valued cost and everything. 2 materials, 5,000 units, 40,000 cost. Wages, no units, 30,000. Manufacturing overhead, 27,000. By normal loss, 5% of input 5,000. 250 units having nil scrap value. Question tells me by process 2 account, whatever is output of process 1 will go to process 2. It is not finished goods stock, it will go to process 2. Question gives me output 4750. Now I told you there are 3 ways to calculate abnormal loss, abnormal gain, if applicable. Easiest way, get balancing figure in units column. If on credit side abnormal loss, if on debit side abnormal gain, if it tallies there is neither abnormal gain nor abnormal loss. Check it that easiest way. 5,000, 5,000. What were other 2 ways? Check expected output with actual output. Expected output 5,000 minus 5%, 4750. Actual output given the same 4750. No abnormal gain, no abnormal loss. Third way, compare expected normal loss with actual loss. Expected normal loss 250, actual loss 5,000 minus 4750, again 250. So there is no abnormal gain, no abnormal loss. Remember 3 ways to compute abnormal loss or gain. Compare actual and expected output, compare actual and expected loss, or balancing figure in the units column. Simple, very simple. So here, no abnormal gain, no abnormal loss. I compute valued cost per unit. What was formula? Total cost minus scrap value of normal loss whole divided by expected output. On debit side, get total cost 97,000. 97,000 minus nil divide by 5,000 minus 250. 97,000 divided by 4750. What I am getting per unit? Per unit is what? 97,000 divided by 4750. This is 20.421 dash per unit. Now, if I apply that on 4750 again, I will get 97,000 only. This is complete process account. If question says make normal loss account, very simple. To process nil, by bank nil. Now, nil account, does that make any sense in making? No. So, there is no normal loss account because it is not having any scrap value. Unless there is scrap value, normal loss account cannot be created. The value of normal loss scrap is nil. At valued cost, we valued the units transferred to next process. This was example number 1. Example 2 is exactly same except that there is scrap value realizable 2 per unit. 2 per unit can be realized for the normal loss scrap. So, I am going to get on credit side 500 rupees normal loss. What I am going to put always here, this is the different thing that you need to remember. I need to always put here scrap value of normal loss. But it changes everything. It changes the valued cost. While computing valued cost, we do consider scrap value of normal loss. So, valued cost per unit. The starting part I have just copied from first question. On credit side against normal loss, instead of nil, I am putting 2 per unit, that is 500 rupees. Now, valued cost per unit will be 97,000 minus 500 divided by 5,000 minus 250. 96,500 divided by 4750. It is coming 20.3157 dash per unit. When you multiply with 4750, you again get 96,500. So, for 5,000 units, 97,000. So, this is the complete question. Let me make a normal loss account here. It makes sense to make normal loss account here. First entry comes from process account. To process 1 account. Only amount column I am making 500 rupees. Second entry related to abnormal gain, which is not applicable in this question. Third entry was realize it by bank 500 rupees. The normal loss account is tallied. When you make normal loss, don't think of putting costing P&L at all. Costing P&L is meant for abnormal items. So, in abnormal loss, abnormal gain, balancing figure will be costing P&L. In normal loss account, you are just getting by bank. Realize it. That's it. This was basic example again. The next one will carry abnormal loss and next to next will carry abnormal gain. So try to focus on next examples. So I reach example number 3. The starting data is same. That is what I have noted already. This is 5,000 units input, 40,000 cost, wages same 30,000, overhead, manufacturing overhead same 27,000. On credit side, by normal loss 5% of input 250, 2 per unit is scrap value 500. Output is given 4550. 3 ways of computing abnormal loss, abnormal gain. One way, balancing figure in units column. It is on credit side 200 units by abnormal loss. Only units column you should fill. Students have tendency to put 400 rupees against 200. That is wrong. Will abnormal loss units be sold at scrap value 2 per unit? Yes. Will that 2 rupees be recorded in process account? No. Very important. Will it be sold? Yes. Will it be recorded in process account? No. It will be recorded in abnormal loss account later. This is to be put on the basis of, they both will be put on the basis of valued cost. Very important. Abnormal loss, abnormal gain and units transferred to next process all are put on the basis of valued cost, and after putting at valued cost, the process account must tally on its own. Very important thing. 3 ways to compute units of abnormal loss. Number 1, balancing figure in units column. Number 2, compare actual output and expected output. I am writing here for your learning purpose. Expected output 5,000 minus 5%, 4750. Actual is 4550. If you get less output than what you expect, there is abnormal loss. There is loss of abnormal nature. Third way is expected loss 250 units. Actual loss 5,000 minus 4550, 450 units. You can check in all the ways there is abnormal loss. Your output is less, 200 loss. Your actual loss is more than expected loss, 200. That is abnormal loss. Or best way, easiest way, balancing figure in the units column in the process account. Now what I do, I calculate valued cost. This is only for your understanding. This is not to be shown in the exam. This is only for your understanding. Valued cost must be shown in exam. Valued cost per unit 97,000 minus scrap value of normal loss 500 divided by 5,000 minus normal loss units expected. 96,500 divided by 4750. 96,500 divided by 4750. Same as in second example, not different at all. 20.31578 dash dash dash. Till what point you should take till the end in the calculator memory you should use. Multiplied by 4550, I get value of transfer to next process. Transfer to process 2, 4550 multiplied by 20.31578 dash 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 means till the end. 92436.84 till paisa correct. Abnormal loss 200 units multiplied by 20.31578 dash dash dash. This is value of 200 units. I'm getting is 4063.16 approximately. The paisa must be corrected. 1578 I'm getting in paisa, I will take 16. So what I get, I should put in the process account and it must tally on its own. 92436.84 and 4063.16. It must reach 97,000. This is a complete tallied process account. It must tally on its own always. This was complete example number 3. Now in this third example, the normal loss account is quite simple, just like example 3. Normal loss account, to process 1 500 by bank will be realized in bank 500. Abnormal loss account is something to understand. Again, it is not difficult, but understand. Abnormal loss account, to process 1 4063.16. It is just the posting from process account. I posted here. It will be sold by a bank. I tell you repeatedly, will abnormal loss units be sold? Yes. Will that scrap value affect process account? No. It comes in abnormal loss account. 200 units at the rate of 2 per unit. 400 rupees will be realized by the entity. By costing P&L is balancing figure. That is 3663.16. That is a complete treatment of abnormal loss as per example number 3. Now in example number 4, again basic data is same. The units produced are 4850. Now what does that create? That creates balancing figure on debit side. That is called abnormal gain. Abnormal gain, because total is 5100. If it is 5100, it is 100 units. I told you 3 ways to compute. Easiest, balancing figure in units column. On debit side is gain, credit side is loss. Second way, compare the outputs. They should have produced 4750, they have produced more 4850. So there is gain, abnormal gain. Thirdly, compare loss. Loss should have been 250. But with input of 5000, output of 4850, loss is only 150. Loss is only 150 instead of 250. There is abnormal gain. So gain, whatever way you compute, is here. Now I need to compute valued cost. Now total the debit side amount only in rough, because abnormal gain at valued cost has to be put there. So total will change if you put already. This is 97,000 minus 500 divided by 5,000 minus 250. 96,500 divided by 4750. It is exactly same in illustration in example 2, 3 and 4. The valued cost per unit is same. This is 20.3157 dash dash dash. When I multiply this with 4850, units transferred to next process valued at 4850 into 20.3157 dash dash. This is coming 98,531.58 approximately. Abnormal gain value 100 into 20.3157 dash dash. This is 2031.58. 98 531.58 and 2031.58. When you add them, you will get 99,031.58. On both sides, it must tally on its own. 99031.58. This is process account in presence of abnormal gain. Things are not over. I need to teach you making of process account, normal loss account and abnormal gain account. In abnormal gain account, special entry to remember. Abnormal gain account debited to normal loss. 100 units at the rate of 2 per unit. For rupees 200, this entry will affect both abnormal gain account also and normal loss account also. I am first making normal loss account. Normal loss account. To process one account. 500. Will the scrap dealer give you 500? You don't have 250 units to sell. You have scrap of only 150 units. So first put the effect of this abnormal gain special entry. 200 by bank. He will give you 300. Very important, follow the entries and ledger accounts properly. What about abnormal gain account? There is no units column in gain and loss accounts. We just make for our understanding in detail. By process, it is coming from process account. By process one account. How much was the amount? 2031.58. To normal loss. 200. To costing P&L, balancing figure, 1831.58. 1831.58. This is a complete account that you need to understand. These were all the examples related to losses and gains. Next I reach is illustration 2, which is a proper full-fledged question carrying 3 processes. We'll be having some abnormal losses, abnormal gains. The question wants you to calculate only cost of finished articles. Means after third process, whatever you are getting, he is asking cost of the same. But for that purpose, you will have to properly make process 1 account, process 2 account, process 3 account. And for your analysis and for your understanding, I will be making for you normal loss, abnormal gain account also, so that you can understand the concept more clearly in the question. So starting with process 1 account, the column headings I am not making, that you can do on your own. So first process, 2 materials, they have introduced 10,000 units and the cost there is 40,000. To labor 6,000. Manufacturing overhead 10,000. Normal loss percentage given 2% by normal loss. 2% on 10,000 should be 200. Is there any scrap value given for that? No scrap value there. No scrap value for any normal loss, abnormal loss in the question. So normal loss account will not be created. We have to get abnormal loss, will go to costing P&L. We have to get abnormal gain, will go to costing P&L. So easy in this case. Buy process to account. In second process, actual output is 9750. Now balancing figure in units column here, buy abnormal loss 50 units. They should have created 9800, they are creating 9750. They should have loss of 200, they are having loss of 250. Whatever way you look, abnormal loss is 50 units. So I compute now valued cost per unit. This is 56,000. 56,000 divided by 9800. This is per unit 5.714 dash dash dash. Into 9750, I am getting this 55714.29, and for 50 units I am getting 285.71. The total 56,000, total 10,000 units. Must show valued cost per unit in every process. Now this will go to 55714.29, will go to second process. Process 2 account. Okay, abnormal loss account again. I'll make abnormal loss account together in the end. Process 2 account. To process 1. The units received are 9750 and amount we computed 55714.29. To material, this is further material 20,000. Labor 4,000. Manufacturing overhead 10,000. By normal loss 5%. 5% of what? 9750 into 5%. I am getting 487.5. I can make it 488 units approximately. Units should be approximated. Now by process 3 account, I am given 9400. So if you note here, the credit side total is more than debit side, 9888 minus 9750. I am having abnormal gain 138 units. To abnormal gain 9888. So what I get? Valued cost per unit. From debit side 55714.29 plus 34,000 more. 89,714.29 divided by 9750 minus 488. 9262 units. 89,714.29 divided by this. I am getting is 9.686 dash dash dash. If I multiply this with 9400, I get value here 91051. 0.996 will make full rupee here. If I multiply with 138, I am getting is 1336.71. I will get 91051 on both sides. 91,051 is the total I am getting on both the sides. I did not approximate, it came 0.996. I had to make it a full rupee here. This is process 2 account. Same way process 3, then I'll make abnormal loss, abnormal gain account also for you. It's very easy here because there is no scrap value involved. Process 3 account. I receive from process 2 the units I received were 9400 and valuation we did 91051. Two materials, more material was put there, 10,000 rupees, no units. Labor 1000, manufacturing overhead 15,000. By normal loss 940 units, nil scrap. By finished goods stock. If it was sold, it will not come by sale, it will be by cost of sale. Selling price will not feature in my process accounts at all. It will be at cost, so it will be cost of sale. Now you are getting is 8,000 units. Now I am getting on credit side balancing figure by abnormal loss. 9400 minus 8940. I am getting 460 units abnormal loss to be valued at valued cost. Now comes valued cost, last valued cost per unit. This is 91051 plus 26,000, 117051 divided by 9400 minus 10%, 8460. 117051 divided by 8460. 13.8358 dash dash dash. If I multiply it with 8,000, I am getting is 110686.52. If I multiply with 460, I am getting 6364.48. The total will be 117051. 117051. So it has to tally always, as in earlier questions also it has to tally 110686.52 and 6364.48. Now this is complete question. Still I am making abnormal loss and abnormal gain accounts. This is the answer basically. Question wanted the cost of finished goods which are produced. This is the answer. You must highlight and give it in the exam. This is the ultimate answer. For your knowledge, I am making two accounts. One is abnormal loss account. And one will be abnormal loss account after this. Abnormal loss account, abnormal gain also. Abnormal loss account comes from two accounts. First process 285.71. 285.71. 2 process 1. 2 process 3. It did not come in process 2. So process 2 will not feature. In process 2 there was abnormal gain. I will make separate account for this. 6364.48. Let me add these. I am getting is 6650.19. Nothing is sold because scrap is not there. Not having scrap makes the question easy. 6650.19. Last thing for this question, abnormal gain account. It came in only one process. By process 2. What was the amount there? 1336.71. No adjustment entry because scrap value of abnormal gain is 0. So all amount will go to costing P&L. This is complete illustration. Proper exam type question. Only new thing they can add is they can put scrap. So scrap would have made the loss accounts and gain accounts difficult. Would have been even better. Will come in later questions later on. I hope this one is clear.